Just till which party lily pong and circus floor. You nearly closed your slow new saw company in your mama's floor. Just till which party lily pong and circus floor. You nearly closed your slow new saw company in your mama's floor. Just var själv, just och ställ på håll du flinnar. Läst på bäst på. Just nu tem du bra hat jag väl. I livet på jag vill slå. Just med glad i blå. Just till which party lily pong and circus floor. You nearly closed your slow new saw company in your mama's floor. Just till which party lily pong and circus floor. You nearly closed your slow new saw company in your mama's floor. Just var själv, just och ställ på håll du flinnar. Läst på bäst på. Just nu tem du bra hat jag väl. I livet på jag vill slå. Just med blå i blå.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another stream. It is lovely Wednesday, and today I'll be doing some art, doing some more OC drawing, because it is another OC's birthday today. Today it is the birthday of this fellow. Let me pull him up for you. One of my Dungeons and Dragons characters that I made several years back. It is this guy, Callhart, who is a Dragonborn paladin that I made a while, many long ago. I don't think he ever played. I don't know if I ever played a session with him, which is the story of a lot of my D&D characters. A lot of the time, when D&D is on the table, it usually does not get very far. it is usually pushed off the table quite quickly. We have a lot of session zeros. Sometimes there's a session 1. Very rarely have I made it to a session 2 with any Dungeons and Dragons characters. So I have a lot of them where I just like make a character because people are like, "Oh, let's try doing D&D." Like, okay. So I make a character and then we like set up like a party and then we never end up playing. But I do like the characters and maybe one day I'll do something with them besides just, having them on display uh on my website. But yeah. So this guy is like extra never played. He like I made his whole deal, and I never even made official art of him. If you look, this art is not real. I didn't draw this. This is uh art, one of his character inspirations, Walhart from Fire Emblem Awakening, and then I just stapled a gold dragon head on top of his head, and that's he's existed for years as placeholder art. So I've never. This guy does not have a canon appearance yet, but today that will change because today is his birthday, March 4th, and that means that he gets art today. So he will get a real appearance, and for that I've prepared a lot of reference material because I don't really like all of my other characters. Like I have things to work off of, like, but this guy has nothing. This is all I have, and spoiler alert, he's not gonna look like this. I mean, he might look sort of similar, but he is not gonna look like this when I'm done with him, hopefully. But because he is like a self-titled future king of all, he wants to be a ruler. He's quite a charismatic fellow. That's like his top stat. So what I want to do for art for him is I want to make like a royal portrait, like an oil portrait in a frame from like medieval era that you'd see. So that's what we're gonna try to go for. I'm gonna get some background music going, and hopefully this time the background music will not be loud as hell because the last time I did an art stream, the music was like way overtuned. I don't know why, but it was like so way too loud. And nobody said anything the whole time. Nobody said anything to me that it was too loud. I only found out after I uploaded the VOD and I watched it back myself, and I was like, oh my god, why is this music so loud? You can barely even hear me. So I'm gonna turn some music on, and I'm gonna keep the volume like pretty low, hopefully, so that you can hear me. You can hear when I am talking. So let's just get this going. I have my playlist of random songs, mostly pulled from video games, a couple other sources that hopefully they won't kill me for copyright for playing these. So let's just start. Be a good what's a good start in the song? That's pretty good. I want it to be not too loud that it's overpowering me, hopefully, but loud enough that you can also hear it and enjoy it. Let's get right into it. With the boring part, you gotta make a sketch. Obviously, this is gonna be the frame. Frame. Bam. Beautiful frame. Nailed it. Then get my pile of reference images over here. A lot of images of both like actual royal portraits, and then I also have like I got some lizards, some bearded dragons, and also some horned lizards to use as reference material. Yeah, I got these various guys to look through. I really like the beard on this fella. This is a really good one. And then I like the crown of thorns back here on this guy a lot. And then these guys also have like good spikiness to them. And this guy has like good coloration because he is a gold dragon. Then also various like portrait stuff. I think some of these might unfortunately be like AI generated, but I tried to get real ones where possible. A lot of like yellows. Some Louis the 14th. I know this one. The other ones I'm not like quite sure as much. One thing is like that I'm not sure if I want to do is a lot of these royals usually they're either wearing plate armor or they are just wearing like some fancy duds like these guys are wearing. Callheart on his character sheet is he wears chainmail, which is not quite as regal and cool looking. So I might just like say, oh, we're doing plate mail instead. I don't know. We'll think about it. But I want to get. Like that crest there. Let's see. Gotta try to get this like head shape. What the heck kind of shape? No, I think I've like already done this wrong. Let's see. Lizards are like weird. They got like weird shapes to them. I really gotta like stare at my reference. This is like a good reference. Let's shrink you down. Put you over here to look at. Alright. So it's like that's like the chin there. And then just like, you know, these spiketies down here. Spikies like over there. Got like very wide mouth sort of fella. Nostrils. And then one thing that I liked on its like placeholder art are these like sort of like fake mustache, sort of like tendrils, kind of like a catfish or like a carp has. So I'm gonna get some of those in there. But, the having like the fake facial hair will like sort of add to the vibes, you know. Okay, then we gotta get the eye, like eyebrow ridge here. Let's mirror that on this side. Okay, that's looking like pretty good. And let me get like this crown, that sort of like collar almost back here that like this guy has. There we go, that's looking good. That's looking like a lizardly sort of head. Yeah, that's solid. That's good. I'm gonna move this up a bit. Take more of the frame. And then we'll do a bit more. And do like his fancy outfit. I do like the like floofy sort of cravat look that like Louis has here. I think that's like a good. I like that vibe. Although it might be too much because he has like the dragon. So I don't know. Maybe it should be more like this sort of thing that this guy's got potentially. Yeah, I kind of like the shaping of that, actually. And then like a cool cape, pretty integral. This, I might go for like some World of Warcraft type inspiration. So I'm thinking of like, thinking of like Uther as this like, I guess it's on him. It's not really. It's like this sort of scarf that goes across some here. I think that's a pretty fun sort of visual. Yeah. I think that's pretty fun. So I might go for something sort of like that. Gotta have some shoulder pads, some very fancy shoulder pads. This here. Big swoosh, big fabric swoosh here. And then you can have it like pinned here, maybe. Be like holding it together. Here, this will be like chainmail armor, or like halberd underneath, or whatever it's called, and then we'll have like a tabard, some description. I like this like sort of ribbon explosion here. That might be it. Could also go for like a sort of fur coat sort of explosion over here. Potentially. Although I don't know if that makes sense on a dragon to have a fur coat. Because, you know, he lives out in like the volcanoes, you know. Where would he be getting fur from? So this is a tough one. Definitely needs like some sort of ornamentation on like the armor. But that's something we can add in the details stage later. Yeah, maybe I'll just get fur coat sort of explosion over here. You can work out the details of that later. I think that's like a decent starting point. So now the fun part is gotta decide where to start on actually rendering this out. Need a good gold color for starters. I think I'm just gonna color this the way I normally color, and then towards the end we can mess with like the saturation to get it accidentally removed the color I had on the palette. Let's just try to get these shapes in place. Paint bucket. Just blast all of that. Gonna have to do a lot of shading on this to make it really clear where the ridges and edges and everything are. I have two messages. I see. Okay, let's get like a red sort of color. He has like red undertone, so I want to try to do the shading in like red instead of just like a black. So I think that will add some more interest to it. Okay, let's see. Airbrushing is definitely the way to go. gotta bring back my image. Ah. Gotta really mess with the opacity. It's the wrong. Okay, let's see. I need to do some like highlights as well. For that, try like that. Brighter yellow color. Try to add in like some scale texture. blur out a lot of that so it's less sharp. Let's do opacity of that a bit more. Definitely could still be some. Let's add in this last back horn here. This one can get like extra reddened. The background's there. Go where they need to be sharper edges. Looking pretty good. Let's see. Sharpen these up a little bit. There we go. That's looking a bit better. Add some similar spikes around here. Fine edges of the spikes a bit more. That one.
Strangers say hello to me. Tomorrow their names will be carved on the stone.
Make this
we go home, but I'm a
a bit
terrible
less
liar.
extreme of a
Forgive me,
protuberance
that's
there.
not after 3 For the sake of the day, keep crying out. Swing the soul, swing the soul.
There we go. That's better. Nostrils with
Those who dream of heaven. Those who dream of heaven never last very long. The running flash and dirty sky infect my wounds. Forgive me, just get me out of this hell. For faith and the pain, keep crying out. Swing the soul, swing the soul, swing the ring into now.
pointy. That. Looking good. Looking dragon-y.
I must be that way, lips can't hear my commands, but still I can't see the way, oh. I am the reaper to the race in the world, that's why I have to go,
Okay. Coming along pretty well, I think. Eyeball.
I think down, told me out, who can say that I'm just a ordinary soldier. I think down, told me out, who can say that will I be on the right side of history. I think down, told me out, who can say that I can hold
That is- that looks real bad.
Bring it on, you bastard!
Eyes. Why don't you use like this guy? Like these horned dragons, they're like completely black eyes. But these guys have like actually eyes like stuff. Sorry. And then Callheart does, I believe, on details have blue eyes. Yes. So I gotta get that detail in there. I think they're gonna be more of like a deep blue. That sort of shade. looking good. And then, let's see. They have like a very bright ring and then the pupil on the inside, which is kind of like, I guess that's what the aura in FF14, I guess that's what their eyes are based off of, because they also have that super bright ring before the pupil. Okay. Big, deep pupil. Okay, that might be. He's sort of staring off into space a little, so I need to adjust that some. Let's see. Well, sometimes they're sort of staring off into space. Sometimes they're looking at you. So perhaps... Let's see. That looks good, I think. Maybe more of that. Gotta look at like far off. That's definitely good. That might be what I'm looking for. Could do like the upturned eye, like Roman, like they did for Roman emperors. They had in like the late Roman Empire, the emperor was always portrayed looking upward for like the future. Now that looks pretty good. I kind of like the upward eye. Yeah, it's very proud looking up. I like that. Okay. Cool. Alright, that's coming along well. Let's see. Oops, I can't spell. Need to start labeling these layers. Head base. Bod sketch. Breath lizard. Face sketch. Yeah, I need to get the mustache in. I think I also need to deepen the brow shadow. Deepen that shadow, make that more dramatic. Might even just grab like a little bit of like very even darker red. Yeah, that's looking better. Our lizardly lord is coming along greatly so far. Okay. If you want to try to get some scale texture on there, I have an idea for that. Let's see. There's like some filters you can mess with that. I think it could make it interesting. So if I like copy this and I filter it to be like mosaic, which one is it under? Is it artistic? Glass tile. Is that it? No, that's not it. Filters. One of these menus has it. I guess you can't really see the menu. Distorts and mosaic. Yeah, there we go. And that sort of gives us like a basic texture. And then if we like overlay that, or maybe like sort of lower the opacity there. That gives us like a nice sort of subtle scale texture. Let's see. Which of these is the best? Ooh, that's kind of cool looking. The lighten only. Yeah, that gives a really fun effect. The Luma lighten only scales. So I do think that these should not have the scale effect. Yeah, because they like gaps. There we go. That's looking pretty solid there. Look at that fine scaled gentleman. Let me see if I can make that. Make this more like a red. Maybe the temperature, colored temperature. Make that more. Yeah, it's a TCU horned frog. Not quite, but definitely similar vibes. Absolutely. Let's try. More red. How's it going? It's going pretty good so far. Currently messing with some effects to get a nice scaly texture on this fine gentleman here. Today we were drawing one of my Dungeons and Dragons characters. His name is Vinshachazaz Kalhart, so titled Future King of All, which, as I was talking about at the start of the stream, is a guy who I made for a D&D session, and then I never ended up playing him. And also, currently, he only exists as placeholder art, which is a PNG of a dragon head stapled over a PNG of a Fire Emblem character. So this is like my first time actually like proper envisioning what this dude looks like. He's Polish. I don't know. I believe that the name is just one I took from the list of like Dragonborn names, or at the very least it was like very based off of the ones that they have in the book. But I don't recall precisely. I want to make his like his mustache sort of. This one, we get some fade tapering on there. Ah, beautiful, look at that. That's perfect right there. That's exactly what I wanted out of that. And this one, let's go ahead and just erase that there. Lovely, look at those. Might add a couple more. Let me make these a bit shorter. I think 2 is a good one. 2 on each end. Quite what I want. Fantastic mustache. He's gotta have a good mustache. I mean. Maybe I should just do this one. Place this just behind there. Yeah, that works. Then we'll once again do this method. So we'll just copy that. These ones are going to be very shaded to the background here. Still want to get some little texturing on them. ridges down along it. They're still like scaly. Same on this end. Get some shading on the inner edge. Highlights other end. Striations on there. Bam, bam. Then get rid of all the extra outside stuff. There we go. Whoops, that's the wrong one. Blur smoother on the shade. Also got erased in. There we go. Let's see. I do think I need to do the scale texture on these as well. Same turn this into a new state. There we go. And then the same. There we go. Okay. That's looking like a pretty good Lizard face. That's cool. Yeah. That's looking excellent. Okay. Let's see. Now we gotta do the neck. Here we go. I need to make this okay. I want to try to get like this sort of spiky texture that like this bearded dragon has, although I don't know if that quite cool enough. I'm gonna try my best to make it happen. Okay. So it's like red to like an orange to a white spike. So this, I might do some fade tapering. Fade size, color, get gradient set up. So this fade looks short. That's what I look like. Okay, that's kind of what I want. Okay, yeah, that's pretty good. So let's just as you do with scales, you start from the bottom and work your way up. highly effective. We need to mess with the layer.
Now it's just a few footsteps on the two small lines of live. Darkness and silence that don't really matter. Sleep. That night there was no enough to last a lifetime. Words I need to turn into facts that'll climb. All the sound and light seem to be blessing us what parade that'll climb. On my last night with you, the tricks I had was more rock parade.
Can do that better.
Keep trying to reach the other side of the unreachable goal. Whereas I want to turn into facts that'll cry. All the sound and light seem to be blessing us one parade that'll cry.
Thinking
On my last
slightly tone the colors.
I was born. Was born rock parade.
Maybe just a bit golder. There we go. That's looking good. Oh, look at that. Look at that bearded dragon right there. That's class. I love how that turned out. Well, that was the tough part, probably. Now we just gotta draw his funny outfit. Let's see. Let me just shovel this in. That's not how you spell face. Look at that. That looks excellent. He's quite beardful. Okay. Next up, it's gonna be, I guess, the collar, probably. Gotta check my ref material. collar, and I kind of have this be like a deep, sort of reddish color on this tabard as well. The same reddish color. I need a mustache too. Have a bow. That's got to dangle above the collar. Make it get fairly deep. Bit of white frillage coming out from under there. I got something that looks could be a lace sort of thing. Random angle. Maybe not. We have this like small. Not quite that. There we go. That's looking good. It's like a little bit of fillage there. Shading in.
Oh, he flies to be the wings of the flight rails, fly high to see him from everywhere. He just tells them his wings out, whispering
other side. Let's get the other end of the collar in over here. Be very shaded. Get that in there. Do the frilly again. A bit darker.
Can you see the sun is shining on me? It makes me feel so free, so alive. It makes me want to survive. And the sky, it makes me feel
Banger, yeah.
the bad times pass me by. 'Cause today, it's gonna be a brighter day. Can you feel the sunshine? Does it brighten up the day? Don't you feel that sometimes you just need to run away?
And then
Reach out
also
for
get some
sunshine. Forget about the rain. Just think about the good times, and they will come back again.
there we go.
Without you, there's nothing for me to do. Can you feel the sunshine too? It's coming through. It makes me feel brand new. When you're here, I wish you were
Gotta
all
round that out to match the other side.
'cause everything's so clear.
Well, look at that.
It's gonna be a brighter day. Can you feel the sunshine? Does it brighten up the day? Don't you feel that sometimes you just need to run away? Reach out for the sunshine.
What color do I want to make this cape? That's the question. Maybe that'll be like a brighter red.
Can you feel it? Ooh. Can you feel it? Oh. Can you feel it? Oh.
Let's see.
Can you feel it? Can you feel the sunshine?
Right. What I want. I should stop this. I think it's fine. This will be like a more garish red. sure it's all correct along the borders. Let's see. Let's get some shading on this as well. Some foliage. It's gonna be real comfortable right here, because that's where like the pin is gonna be placed. Really gotta blur all that out. It still looks kind of sharp, but that's okay, because this is where we do the layering tricks. Get it looking a bit better. Got some convincing enough looking foliage in there. Rated F for folds. we go. Let's see. Why is it like making the edges a little bit bright when I merge it down? That's weird. It's a bit strange. That's fine. Well, that's not very. This section, the scarf I'm gonna pull down here, so it is underneath that collar bit there. Gold pin here, holding this in place. And let me get some gold. Where's my gold gradient? Let me. It's really getting bunched up on this scarf. we go. Simplify this. Connection here. There we go. Now it is properly holding that all in place as one unit. Okay, next up, gotta, I think would be this shoulder pad probably. Let's see. It's gonna be like sort of a pale brassy color, I think. Color that in. Cut down on that a bit. You can still see the pin down here. Don't want to completely cover that up. Enough for yeah. Okay. Again, chain a couple of these down the side. Need to fix the interpolation before I resize it. Chain that down. And then we're gonna deepen the shadows there, lighten up the highlights, and do the same on this next one. Go. Now we've got that sort of layered look. Excellent. And this edge will be like hidden beneath the painting frame. Which maybe I should just make the frame next. Maybe that should be the next step. I don't know. Next. Okay, painting frame. What does a painting frame look like? I gotta like look at a ref image of like a picture frame. I don't want it to be like super fancy, but just yeah, something like this guy. Okay, so it's just like a lot of like peaks and valleys there. Okay. Alright, let's get some down there. So let's just pick like where. go. That should be good. Why are some of these wider than others? I guess it's like where I punched them in. No, I don't need to do like this whole wide section. I'm just gonna focus on this little slice here. Okay. Let's get some shading in. Shading around the edges here. Okay. Alright. I just zoom right in. Yeah. Okay. Okay, like a little stripe there. Okay. And then like real bright. Just like a stripe there on each end. And if I take this and I just like stretch mode, stretch it this away. Oh, oops. Okay, wait, actually be able to stretch it and then grab that. And then, no, stretch it out. There we go. No interp, just like that. Beautiful. And then take that. I'm gonna rotate it like this. Cut off that part. Yes. Perf. Okay. Just need to extend you downward some more. Get to the bottom. Cool. Then once again, cut at the diagonal. Imagine dragons. Many people have done such a thing. In fact, it could be argued that every single dragon ever has been imagined, because they're not real. Welcome, Mega. How's it going? Hopefully work's going alright. Currently drawing this lovely dragon fella. This is my guy. I don't know if you overheard earlier. I assume probably not, because you probably have customers. But this is Ben Shakazaz Kulhart, the self-titled future king of all, who is a D&D character I made a while ago, who never ended up being played, I don't think, but he exists and he's cool. And up until now, he has only ever had this placeholder art, so I've never drawn him. Today is the first time ever. His placeholder art, as you can see, is a PNG of a gold dragon head stapled on a PNG of a Fire Emblem character. So today we're giving him an actual design. So I give him this very regal, yes, the medieval portrait style exactly. I've got my reference images here. I've got this cool bearded dragon here, the very cool beard. Another bearded dragon which I use for like eye reference. I have these horned lizards, the regal horned lizard, and then I got some medieval portraits, of various gentlemen to use as like style reference. And then I also have Uther from World of Warcraft as some more like fantasy armor, sort of, to base it off of. Which is where I pulled this like scarf sort of thing from. And then most recently I was looking at this reference image of a wooden painting frame so I could, get it looking correct. Which, I need to add like some variation here. I need to add like a little bit of like staining and stuff over here. So let me just randomly. Get like some random variation across the frame. Maybe some of it will be like a bit redder than other parts. Because, it's like worn out. It's not in like perfect condition. Should bring back the Middle Ages. I don't know. Maybe not. I'm not sure. Let's see. And then a little bit of like bleaching in some places, like very subtle. Just, help make it look like it's not just like one continuous texture the whole way around. Yeah. I feel like just those slight changes made like a huge difference for the frame to make it look not fake and made up. Okay. Cool. Back to business. Gotta make his little sleeve underneath this pauldron. So that's gonna be... I'm just gonna make that like a sort of dark gray color, I think. Actually, no, his sleeve would be chainmail as well. So I'm gonna have like the dark gray like base coat for that. Gray base coat. We're getting the red and the black going right now. Let's see. Let's get this chainmail. This for the chainmail. I might do the same thing I did for his scales, where I use like the mosaic texture potentially. But I'm gonna make it smaller tile size, get it like real tight. Honestly, just that right there is like looking pretty chainmail-y. But let me make this mess with the blending. Let's get soft light, I think is pretty good. And then we'll also get some highlights and shading in as well. overlay. Just like a slight bit of shading to give it a more realistic texture. There we go. Okay, then we gotta do this like tabard. The same reddish color. And it's smooth. There we go. Bit of a barrel chested music. Hopefully the audio, the background music is not super loud. Because I know the last time I did an art stream, the music was like way overtuned, and it like was drowning me out most of the time. Hopefully this is like a better balance for it. Okay. Okay, coloring the edge there. Same on this end. Making sure there's no gaps. Seems fine, that's good. I want it to be, you know, audible enough that it's not completely silent when I'm not talking, but also when I am talking, it's like proper priority is given. See, maybe I can put like a belt here around like the chest area to sort of like be keeping the tabard attached, because it is just sort of, because like the tabard over chainmail, it's just sort of like a banner with a hole in the middle for your neck to go through. So a belt to keep that like firmly attached might be a good thing. Let's see. I don't know if I like that. Need to add a bit of red of the cape back there. Or maybe it should just be the red of the tabard back there on the other side. Nah, I think probably good. Okay. Mhm. Okay. Add some trim. I think that would probably be good. Maybe like blackish color. Maybe I should also add some trim to the collar as well. Maybe. Nah, I don't think that really fits in. Hi, how's it going, Q? Were you able to solve Amy's legacy collection or whatever it was? Were you able to prevent the bad future from happening? I'm on the wrong layer. Yes, barely, but you got the good ending and Amy the Hedgehog compact disc. Awesome. Glad to hear it. You showed that Metal Sonic who's boss. Who is Sonic anyway? I only know Amy. They were doing some art of one of my D&D characters who's a dragonborn paladin whose name is Venshakusaz Kalhart, the self-titled future king of all, who up until now, I made this character back in like 2018, 2019 or something, and up until now he's only ever had placeholder art. So this is like the first time I'm actually drawing this guy like, you know, like 8 years after he was first like conceptualized. But very, very fun for him. Ooh, Amy 3 and Knuckles. That'll be interesting. I'll have to tune in for that. Let's see. get the same like fur trim under the tabard here. Not looking forward to Marvel Gardens. That should be pretty smooth. Yeah, streaming regularly, it's pretty fun. I can confirm. It's a pretty fun time. Although sometimes I run out of ideas for things to do and I have to like improvise at the last second. But even that can be fun. It's like honestly a surprising amount of improv that I do with my streams. That's not the right color. Like basically any like all of the like stream titles, I think those up like literally in the seconds before the stream starts always. Like I never have a name ready for the stream until it's like the day of. Yeah, I always there's some things that it's like, oh yeah, I can just like throw that out if I need to. Like, you know, if I ever don't have an actual idea ready, I can just be like, okay, today we'll do like a pinball game or whatever. Or something like that. Just play like a safety game or do like speedrunning attempts. I also did that one week. Let me add on some details to this tabard. Let me get like some medals or like some ornamentation or something. What do I even want to have on this thing? Well, he is a paladin, so maybe he should have like a holy symbol around him. Let's see. Let me make like a little chain. And I'm gonna use that as a brush. Increase the spacing. Alright, maybe not the spacing. What would his holy symbol be? Well, he's a paladin of conquest, so I guess his symbol would be symbolizing his rulership. So maybe like Did I ever write on his character page what his holy symbol actually was? Let me look back at my original notes for this fellow. Doesn't look like I wrote it. Checking. Doesn't look like anything. So maybe I will give him like a weapon. He uses a great axe. So I can symbolize that here. Just let me add some goldness to this chain. There we go. Make it like Well, what game is this? This is art. We're making it. If you want to be technical, the person I'm drawing is from Dungeons and Dragons. He's one of my D&D characters. And the music is from Guilty Gear Strive. How do you win? By finishing the arts, which will hopefully happen in, sometime soonish. Okay. As a paladin of conquest, his holy symbol is a sword overlaid with a battle axe blade. Because I feel like he's the kind of dude who would be into that sort of thing. Let's see. That's too intense. There we go. Then let's gonna add some gold texturing to that. And then on the tabard itself, I need to add some shading. soft light. Blur that out. Bit of shading to these. Alright. Coming along pretty well now, I'd say. He's gotta do his right arm. And then just gotta do a background, which I'm just gonna do vague sort of flat color background like these fine gentlemen have. I'm not gonna go too deep on the background. But it's coming along pretty well. See, I'll probably remove that sketch layer. Okay. Let's see. Now, I guess the question is, do I want to just have the same armor copied on the other end, or what? I feel like that's probably the simple answer. Let me get this in between the scarf and the tab. No, I don't know if I can actually do this. That loop is not closed. That's fine. There we go. Clean up the gaps. There we go. Do the same thing with the chain now. I don't recall exactly what color grid it is. This is pretty close to what it was.
Welcome to the Yanfana world.
There we
Left
go.
my endgame there came at 0. Send here, there is a silence everywhere. No peace either. Where there is no beginning and no end.
Let me
Well,
say it
I
good.
like that. And yet the words that
And
would
then
go was to
turn that into
revive.
hard light. Shading.
Nothing here.
Achoo. I like to imagine there's a real lizard man pose and see just like a real portrait of camera. Yeah. Yeah, he's just, you know, right over there. Or I guess he's over there that way. Because that's the part of the stream that you can't see. He's over this way. He's just right over there.
One after the other, over and over again. I was a new pendulum.
Okay. Get the shading and highlights on this pauldron as well.
It's black, feel white, all the same. Endless, finite. Copy that.
Dark. Tighten up this edge here. Sharpen that up.
Nothing here but
Now let me darken right there. That's looking pretty good. Pretty done almost, I'd say.
if you can give someone something.
I might need to grab like a section of the pauldron back here.
Copy that.
Like really super dark in these bits. Put that one on the wall next to the grandfather clock. Absolutely. sort of inner edge there. Nah, that doesn't really look that good. I'll just fairly smooth down. Yeah, that looks fine. Okay, and then we just gotta give him a nice oil painting background. Since he's very yellow and red, I'm gonna give him like a sort of brownish green backing to him. I think that'll probably look good behind him. Like brown. Brown base coat back there. Some yellow, some green in there. Smudge all that around. Blur it up. It's lagging. I don't think it likes me doing all that. Would my daily bug fact redeem? All right. Your daily bug fact is did you know that mantises do not metamorphose? A baby mantis is the exact same body shape as an adult mantis. They're just really, really small. Every time they molt, they stay the same shape, they just get a little bit bigger until they're an adult mantis. And then their final molt is that they grow wings. But up until then, they're literally just a really, really small mantis, and they're very cute. Yeah, you knew that one? Well, doesn't say it has to be one you knew, but I'm glad that you also know that one, because they're. Do you agree they're very cute? Alright, that's looking just about done, I'd say. A nice portrait of Mr. Callhart himself. The first time he's ever been pictured on a picture that was not really silly placeholder art. I'm pretty proud of how this one turned out. I think this one came out very well. Given that I have never drawn a lizardman before, in any sort of variety, I think I did a fairly good job of it. Let's see. Yeah. Here's my reference material once more. Bearded dragon with a very cool beard that I used as a reference here. My horned lizard, the regal horned lizard, like these cool spikes coming out the back. And then, you know, my old men in medieval paintings. Okay, right. I do need to. One last thing I need to do is I need to add like a slight filter to it all, like a slight like beige-ish filter to sort of get that effect. across like the whole thing. Lighten only lower the opacity on that by a lot. Just enough to get that like vintage feel to it. There we go. I think that does a good job of sort of tying that together. Let's see, maybe I need. How do I want to do this? I think screen is good. Just add like a very subtle. There we go. And I think with that, we are done for tonight. Let me save and title this. Save as. Let's see. Now, what do I want to call this one? Titling pieces is always hard. What are some words for lizard? Lizard synonyms. Lizard synonyms and antonyms. No. Reptile. There we go. A regal reptile. That's what we're calling it. Beautiful. And if you're gonna actually that a horned lizard is not a reptile, dragons aren't real, so they can be whatever they want, okay? A dragonborn can be a reptile if they want to. Anyways. Yeah, this one, I'm very proud of this. So, with that, I'd like to thank y'all for stopping by and chilling out while we made this lovely painting. I will be back next Monday with Metroid Fusion, for Metroid Monday, of course, which should be a fun time. And Moto Dragons, look. Okay. Dragons, fantasy dragons are not real. Komodo dragons are real and they are awesome. And so are bearded dragons, and they're also awesome. But they're different. Right, anyway. I was doing an outro. Metroid Fusion, next Monday. Tune in. Or don't, you know, I'm not your ma. Do whatever you want. But I'll see you on the next one. Thank you for tuning in. Have a great week. Goodbye.